Next, let's discuss how to handle out-of-order data in Dataflow. In streaming pipelines, it's common to deal with out-of-order data. So the same is true in Dataflow. This means that data doesn't always arrive at Dataflow in the exact order it was generated, as we saw in a previous example as well. So to handle this, essentially we can use a combination of windows, watermarks, and triggers to ensure the data is processed accurately, even if it arrives late or out of sequence. To break this down, we first use windows. Windows are responsible for organizing data into specific time frames. Think of them as containers that group data based on event time, regardless of when the data actually arrives. So then we can create that logical structure for processing data over time. We have watermarks, which we discussed in the previous section. Watermarks track the progress of time through the pipeline. They help us know when we can safely assume that no more data is going to arrive for a given window. And once the watermark passes a certain point, we can start processing the data in that window, even if some late data might still trickle in. Finally, we have triggers. Triggers determine when we should emit the results. They can fire at different points, like when the watermark reaches a certain stage after a specific amount of time. And they also allow us to handle stragglers, like late arriving data points. If more data arrives after the trigger has fired, we can use another trigger to reprocess the window and update the results. So what I just said about each of these is mainly review. I'm just setting up the takeaway here. In practice, we can use the combination of these, windows, watermarks, and triggers, to organize data into time windows, determine when the data was submitted or processed in Dataflow, allow stragglers to catch up, and decide when to emit the final results. So knowing that this combination is how you deal with out-of-order data could be tested on the exam. And that's it for this section.